I thought the creepy lake in my hometown was just a stupid local myth, until something crawled out of the water and called my name. What I saw next still keeps me awake at night. And if you think this sounds like another ghost story, trust me, you aren't ready for the thing that followed me home. When I was a kid, there was a lake on the edge of our village that everyone avoided. People called it the Silent Basin because no birds ever chirped around it, no fish ever surfaced, and no one who entered the water came out the same. They said the silence was a sign of respect for whatever slept beneath the surface. I always thought it was just an old story, a tale created by grandparents to scare children away from the dangerous waters. I grew up, moved away, and forgot all about it. Until the night I learned the horrifying truth myself. I had returned to my village after 8 years, planning to stay only a few days to visit family. It was supposed to be a peaceful break from the city. On my second night there, my cousins, Tariq and Samir, insisted we walk near the lake for old time's sake. I laughed it off, reminding them we were adults now, too old to believe in ghost stories. But the moment my foot stepped onto the muddy path leading into the trees, I felt something deeply strange. An oppressive quiet that pressed in on my ears, like the entire forest was holding its breath, waiting. The lake looked worse than I remembered from childhood. The water was a sheet of black glass, perfectly still and unnaturally quiet. Even the wind, which rustled the leaves in the trees behind us, seemed to die down the closer we got, avoiding the water's edge. The air grew cold and heavy, carrying the scent of wet earth and something else. Something foul, like decay. My cousin Tariq, who had been just as cocky as I was a few minutes earlier, was now silent. He pointed to a small, weathered wooden shrine placed near a gnarled old tree. "That wasn't here before," he whispered, his voice barely audible. I stepped closer. The shrine was crude, clearly made by hand. It held a tiny, grimy glass jar filled with murky lake water, sealed shut with a thick, faded red thread. A hand-painted sign underneath had a simple, chilling message: "Do not break the seal. Do not call its name." We all stood there, staring at it. I tried to break the tension with a nervous joke about local superstitions, but the words caught in my throat. And then I heard it. A whisper carried on the dead air from behind me, soft, slow, and raspy, dragging out my name, Ra-Fik. I froze, my blood turning to ice. My cousins froze beside me, their eyes wide with terror. The voice came from the middle of the lake, but nobody was there. The surface was completely undisturbed. I tried to rationalize it, to tell myself it was just the wind, a trick of the mind. But then Samir screamed, pointing a trembling finger at the shrine. The murky water in the little jar was bubbling furiously, like it was boiling, even though the air was freezing cold. The red thread sealing the jar started to smoke, turning black as if it was being burned from the inside. Then the wood of the shrine started to groan and crack, splintering as if something invisible inside was pushing its way out. Suddenly, everything turned dead silent again. The bubbling stopped. The smoke vanished. And that's when we saw it. A pale, waxy hand slowly emerged from the center of the lake. The fingers were impossibly thin and long, dripping with black, oily water. Another hand followed, just as grotesque. Then a head. But it wasn't a human head. Its skin was the color of drowned flesh, sagging like wet cloth over its bones. Its eyes were just empty, black sockets, and its jaw was unhinged, gaping far wider than any human should. It slowly tilted its head, fixing its empty gaze right on us, like it recognized me, Rafet. It whispered again, the sound seeming to come from everywhere at once. We didn't wait to see the rest of it. We ran. We scrambled back through the trees, not daring to look back. But we could hear the sounds behind us, the sickening splash of water, as something large dragged itself onto the shore. We heard it crawling onto land, the wet, slapping sounds of its limbs on the mud, slow at first, then faster and faster, gaining on us. I thought we had escaped when we finally burst out of the woods and slammed the door to my family's house behind us, hearts pounding. We were safe. At least, that's what I told myself. That night, I woke to a strange sound in the hallway, a steady, rhythmic dripping, drip, drip. Getting closer to my bedroom door, my heart hammered against my ribs. I held my breath and listened. The dripping stopped right outside my door. With trembling hands, I slowly opened it. There, on the wooden floor, were wet, three-toed footprints leading from the front door, right toward my room. My cousins didn't believe me at first, thinking I was just shaken up. But they saw the footprints too, and their faces went pale. The next morning, we learned the shrine near the lake had been shattered. The jar was broken, the red thread torn apart. The village elders say that once the seal breaks, the thing that lives in the lake doesn't stay there anymore. It searches for whoever disturbed it, and it follows them until it gets what it wants. I left the village that day, but I don't think it matters. Last night, I heard it again. A soft, wet whisper just outside my apartment window on the third floor, calling my name. And now I'm scared that no matter where I go, it will keep finding me. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more.